Shogun Lodge race to the front from Go Flash Go, Final Fantasy, El Mirada, Steel Phoenix. Shogun Lodge in front. Go Flash Go's having another crack at him. Shogun Lodge hangs on and he wins the Queen Elizabeth. Shogun Lodge from Go Flash Go and El Mirada. Viscount, the jet black horse going full bore for the line with 100 to run. He's well clear from Royal Courtship and Ha Ha, appreciating the heavy conditions, appreciating the 1400 metres, and Viscount is killing them in the size. Viscount by 4 lengths to Royal Courtship, 5 lengths to Ha Ha.
Kawassia is a clear-cut leader. Accelerator can't get him at the moment, and then Puzzle Book, but Kawassia races away for Glen Boss. The gloaming is all over. It's Kawassia winning it from Accelerator. Photo third, Silk Veil.
I think it'll be Shogun Lodge. What do you think? In the 2001 George Main Stakes to be run at Warwick Farm, which makes it seem quite different to its traditional venue at Royal Randwick, but that's not the case this year. The small field of 7 is going to play very much into the hands of Shogun Lodge. As you know, he's got to be ridden back. He has to be ridden for luck, and he hasn't got much traffic to get through today. And I think the small field really is the most important factor in assessing his chances. New Zealand race 8, Mazur $9.90. Go down to Obsession $5, Russell on $8.20. Snowland is all the rage despite a wide gate, $2. Over the page now to the second batch of 2-year-olds, and the Prankster 39, Well Informed 29, Zarouk 24 and 71 for Athelnoth. OK, we're going to Sandown now to set the scene. Here is Alf Matthews.
Thanks very much, John. Yes, look, it's a beautiful day here at Sandown, and we're looking for an interesting day's racing. I think it's fair to say that we're playing second fiddle to the wonderful meeting in Sydney today, but we've got a few interesting runners, horses like Neptune's Journey that has been group placed in the past, drawn a bit awkwardly, but generally an interesting day, more so than a brilliant day.
Righto, Alf, thank you. And I guess there's an anticlimactic feeling in Melbourne today, because the big one is tomorrow, of course, with the running of the Underwood and the Live Well, Eat Well. It'll be a super day of Group 1 racing tomorrow at Caulfield. OK, here we are at Warwick Farm, where there's hardly a breath of wind. Glorious day, and in they come for the first 2-year-old race of the new season, the Breeders' Plate. Now, the Reg Rowley trained Jester's Lad is giving trouble behind the gates there, a typical Rory's Jester. A chestnut with plenty of white and a creamy mane. So many of them look similar to that. Now in New Zealand, River Chant $35.10 and $6.50. Little Sister $2.10 and On a Whim at $6. Snowland, not the biggest 2-year-old in training and burdened with a wide gate, is odds on nevertheless at $1.80. From all reports, he is a real runner. Let's go to Ian Craig now at Warwick Farm.
And John, thank you, and good morning to you, morning viewers. And on a glorious morning in Sydney, the horses move in for the Breeders' Plate. First 2-year-old race of the Sydney season. And the popular pick is Snowland. Number 7, Snowland, into the red on the tote now, as it's been in the ring for pretty well the duration of betting, $1.80 and $1.30. Now coming up to line is Dial Tones, and Snowland will be the last. Snowland, popular pick, as our radio audience is with us. Lovely type of horse, Snowland. He's by snippets and he's done everything right in his trials. He'll just need a little bit of luck from the gate, but he's been very, very tight right throughout betting. 1,000 the journey, this race last year, taken out by Mystegic. When it was, of course, run at Randwick. Mystegic, Brian York beat New Key and Viscount. Viscount, of course, big hope in today is George Main. Track is good, rail is out 5 metres. And still awaiting Dial Tones and Snowland to link in. They had a little trouble getting Spinning Con forward, but everything's right with Spinning Con, and Mark de Montfort climbing back into the saddle as Dial Tones moves in. Connections of Dial Tones like Dial in the name of their horse. Or horses, probably because they have the dam dialed. Dial a Mood is one that comes to mind. Oh, Spinning Con's very, very fractious in the gates, and de Montfort out of the saddle once again. Up goes Spinning Con. Thank goodness it didn't swing round and get caught up in the across the petition with the near side stall. Snowland is still not in, and the starter Billy Cooper has come away from his stand and is going back round behind the stalls to have a close look at what is going on with Spinning Con. And for climbing back aboard, Mark's got an interesting ride in the race to follow this. He'll be on Bosworth, very promising horse. Anyway, it looks as though we're now set for a start in the Breeders' Plate. The bulk of the babies has stood well. All in, ready now. Line good. Off this time, Snowland jumped reasonably from the outside. Actually, Russell On got the best of the start. Spinning Con out well. Obsession, and now Snowland going quickly, as is Raid and Rule and the Prankster. Zaruk is not far off the speed as Dial Tones drifts back, and then Athelnoth, well-informed Choiseur, and just as Lad as last. In the Breeders, they go to the 600, and Snowland draws to the leader length on the stablemate Obsession. The Prankster's a length away third, and then Russell On, followed by Raid and Rule, a length Zaruk, and two Spinning On. Or Spinning Con, followed on its inside by Choiseur, and well informed is next as they round the corner, and Snowland galloping nicely straightens up a couple of lengths clear on Obsession. In third position Russell On, and wider out is Choiseur. Muntz shaking up this leader, and Snowland at the 150 being attacked left, right and centre. Obsession and Choiseur descending down the middle of the track, going home very strongly. Grabbed Obsession, and Choiseur, that Overcastrian, wins the Breeders. Obsession second. Snowland looks to have just cut Russell On out of third. Well informed, ran a nice race, and then Jester's Lad, Spinning Con, followed home then by Athelnoth, Raid and Rule. Good margin Zaruk and the Prankster, and Dial Tones finished at the tail of the field. Number one, Choiseur, has won the Breeders' Plate for Paul Perry and owners the Wallace family, and Paul and his wife, Paul and Clarine Perry. Number one, Choiseur, ridden by Len Beasley, by Dane Hill Dancer from Great Selection, and has paid $11 upwards on the win totes. And the we can't help you with the official win. $2.50 the place. Number 4 is second, Obsession, and it has returned $1.90. And number 7, Snowland, is third, and the dividend $1.30. So it's 1-4-7. Choiseur, Paul Perry, Lenny Beasley beating Obsession by Last Tycoon from Lovey, trained by Gay Waterhouse, Jimmy Cassidy, and Snowland by Snippets from Snowdrift, Gay Waterhouse, Chris Muntz, the fourth to come.
Thank you, Ian. A very authoritative win by Choiseur, which had been well educated with 2 barrier trials, a 3 lengths win at Gosford on September the 14th, and an easy win at Newcastle on the 3rd of September, defeating Barada on that occasion, which finished unplaced in today's race. But that winner came right down the middle of the track and absolutely smothered them in the last little bit. Snowland was lucky to scramble into third place. One more stride and he would have been nosed out of third. New Zealand race 9, Italicus 100, Rock Show 93, Honestly 90 and Just a Frank 87. Here is the full market on the race. Number 1, Italicus, is $5.70. 2, Just a Frank, $11. Honestly, $20. Cash Aplenty, $9.20, and Rock Show is $9.30. Who to Best, $15. Someday, $17. Scratch Out Back. 9 is Drum Kit. Over to 9, Drum Kit, $23. My City Girl, $11. Mazuran, $9. Red Amazon, $9.40. Long Odds Happy Jogger and Nero's Game, and long odds the others. Well, Paul Perry, he keeps bobbing up with a nice horse. He's got himself a smart colt here, Joe.
He certainly has. Storming down the outside to win the Breeders' Plate. Congratulations, Paul.
No, thanks, Joe. Yeah, it's a good win. He, I thought when he was a shade slow out and he got a bit of a check and he was only in front of a couple, I thought he'd have a big job. But, yeah, it's got home strong. He
trialled very well leading into today.
His two trials have been real good, Joe. He's won them, he won them quite easy, and seen they didn't trial around, but, it's hard to sort of line them all up sort of thing. But his trials have been really good.
An exciting future for him?
Yeah, I think so. He's a big, solid, big bloke. You say he's only gone and improved.
Are you fairly confident he could win today?
Oh, I thought he ran a big race. He's done everything right. Yeah.
A smart lot.
Yeah, no, it was lovely.
What would you do with him now?
Oh, I just sort of see when he goes home. Probably give him a break, Joe, I'd say. But, you know, he stood up well with the shin soreness and all that. He's been pretty good. I'll just have a look at him anyway.
Okay, congratulations once again,
Yeah,
Paul.
thanks, Joe.
Okay. Paul Perry, smiling broadly, and why wouldn't he be? He's got a very smart horse on his hands in Choisir, the 2001 Breeders' Plate winner, returning to scale.
Good, Joe, thank you, and congratulations to Paul, who, along with his wife, is a part owner of the winner. Now, the hurdle or the steeplechase at Sandown is not too far off. Yo-Yo Joe and Silver Metal rating 100, Masquerade 97 and Dobroid 93.
Silver Metal jumped well over on the inside, and Masquerade in the all-white got out well. Drop kickers up there too, with Velda Hayes wider out as they reach the first fence. Passmasters in behind them and settling last of all in company with Yo-Yo Joe. Here's the second fence now, and it's Drop Kick in front with Silver Metal near the inside. They're sharing the lead ahead of the Galway Piper and Velda Hayes wider out fourth. Masquerade is next, and then came Yo-Yo Joe, Dobroid and Passmaster as last of the 9. Third fence now, Silver Metal went through in a big leap at it, a lovely one, and he's in front as they run down towards the lane the first time. It's the favourite in front, Silver Metal from Drop Kick. Velda Hayes is in behind them holding third from the Galway Piper, Yo-Yo Joe. Masquerade over on the inside, and then Dobroid and Passmaster. Oh, Silver Metal fell. He took a heavy tumble. He's down at the first one in the lane, quickly to his feet. We'll check the rider as soon as we can. So that leaves Drop Kick in front now. Drop Kick coming up towards the third fence down the lane. Over it he goes in front of Yo-Yo Joe, and behind them in third placing Velda Hayes from the Galway Piper. Back behind those horses then is Masquerade as they leap the next fence. Drop Kick getting into it. Passmaster next to last, and last is Dobroid. So here's the last one coming up in the lane, and Yo-Yo Joe's gone through to head Drop Kick, who's been running out at his fences, and they kick away to the Galway Piper. Then came Velda Hayes, Masquerade, Dobroid and Passmaster. Silver Metal is cantering riderless past the post there as they leave the straight. And at this stage, the rider is still down on the track, the rider of Silver Metal, Ricky Maund. Now, they leave the straight and they head out towards the 2,000 metres. And these two have kicked away with a good lead. Yo-Yo Joe on the inside, and outside him, Drop Kick, and they're about 12 lengths clear. In third place in the Galway Piper, followed by Velda Hayes, a length Masquerade. And at the tail of the field, Drop Kick, over on the inside there, Passmaster and Dobroid. Now, here's the first of the double at the foot of the hill down the back of the course, and Yo-Yo Joe by 3 lengths to Drop Kick, and then there's a break of about 5 lengths as they go to the second of that double to Velda Hayes, and then the Galway Piper. Moving up Masquerade the outside from Passmaster and Dobroid as last of all. So they're up halfway up the top of the rise now, and there's a double up there when they reach the top, and as they get up there, it's Drop Kick narrowly. Drop Kick in front as they go over this one from Yo-Yo Joe and Velda Hayes. Back in fourth placing then is Masquerade, Passmaster. And Dobroid is still well back in the field. He's back second last as they are about to run downhill, and the Galway Piper is last of all. Ruling Lord is another one that I've missed in the run. He's not in the field. Now they're coming downhill. And Drop Kick's kicked away again by about 4 lengths here to Yo-Yo Joe. Masquerade's running on the outside. And then Velda Hayes, Passmaster, the Galway Piper back to the tail of the field in company with Dobroid, who's never been a chance to get into the race at this stage. He's been a long way back as they go over the third last. And Drop Kick is the handy leader. Masquerade, the one who's come out of the pack and is challenging him now as they come to the second last one. And Masquerade went through and headed Drop Kick. A break of 4 or 5 lengths then to Yo-Yo Joe, Velda Hayes. Dobroid starting to make a little ground on the inside, and then Passmaster, the Galway Piper, a clear last. Masquerade comes towards the home turn. He's got to the outside for the last fence now. It's Masquerade coming to the last jump. Dobroid's made plenty of ground on the inside as they leap this one, and then Drop Kick, followed by Yo-Yo Joe. Masquerade in front. Dobroid tries hard. He's come from a long way back, but Masquerade past the 200, kicked away on him. Then came Yo-Yo Joe and Drop Kick and Passmaster, but Masquerade in the all-white for Danny Crozier. First up for quite some time, and he's won it brilliantly. Masquerade from Dobroid. Third is Yo-Yo Joe, then Passmaster, followed by Drop Kick, Velda Hayes, and the Galway Piper is just cantering down past the line now. Silver Metal was okay after his heavy tumble in the straight, and the attendant still there with Ricky Maund. Masquerade, the winner, number 2. Well, it's his first start since the 30th of May when he was brought down. He actually bled in that race at Flemington back on the 30th of May. But he has won the race very, very comfortably indeed.
Righto, Greg, thank you. And that winner is by the Melbourne Cup winner at Talac, who died prematurely at stud after posting a most impressive list of statistics. Masquerade 6.30 and 2.90, Dobroyd $1.20, and Yo-Yo Joe got third at 1.50. Okay, now New Zealand.
And Perfect Crime has been a notable drifter here on track. On the tote it's 2.50, but much shorter there, and Bosworth is the favourite in the ring, and on the tote is 3.60. Talking about Bosworth, he's moving up now, and we're waiting for 3. First of the day, number 1 Chasseur scored, beat 4 Obsession, and 7 was third, and that was the favourite Snowland. Now here's Timeout coming forward. This race last year was won by Dynamic Love, beat 8 8s and pieces. Now coming up is Colin. In goes Colin, and we're set. Ready to run now in race number 2, the Brian Crowley Stakes. 2.60 Perfect Crime, much longer with bookies. Favourite in the ring, Bosworth. On the tote is 3.60 and second pick. Waiting for timeout. Rather restless. Off now. And not a bad break. Colin was away quickly, and so was Timeout, and Finbar over on the inside is up looking for the lead. And as they settle down now, it's Finbar taking over from Timeout. 2 lengths to Perfect Crime, racing on the outside of the only filly in the race, and that's Patterns. Bosworth parked on the inside and just being shaded now by Cullen. They run along to the 800 marker in the Brian Crowley, and the Goulburn Galloper leads the way. Finbar about 3/4 of a length on Timeout. A couple to Perfect Crime, followed by Patterns, Cullen next to last, and 3/4 of a length to Bosworth. This is the order as they come to the 500, and Finbar shows the way 3/4 on Timeout. 3 lengths to Perfect Crime, hard ridden by J.A. Cassidy. Patterns is over on the inside of it. Bosworth taken to the outside by De Montfort, and last is Cullen. Timeout raced up to Finbar on straightening now. Patterns tackling the pair of them. Perfect Crime's not doing enough, and then Bosworth, who's green. They come past the 200. Timeout got Finbar, but Patterns the only girl in the race. She's doing it well. Dual acceptor. Clary's pulled the right rein here. Patterns streaks away from Timeout, and Patterns effortlessly from Timeout. Photo third. Finbar or Bosworth. He's got a bit to learn, Bosworth. Well, Perfect Crime went very disappointingly, and last of all was Cullen. Well, the bookies took a big set against Perfect Crime this afternoon. They took a big set against him. He got out to $4 at one stage. He probably came in at the death, and he ousted Bosworth from popularity there, but they were plenty keen to knock him here on track this afternoon, Perfect Crime, and he raced accordingly. Well, Clary pulled the right rein with Patterns, didn't he? Scratch from the fillies race later in the day to concentrate on the Brian Crowley, and she's given the boys a bath. $5.50 she's paid for the win and notched up the hat-trick in doing so, and $2.80 for the place. Number 1 Timeout second, $2.40, and number 3 Finbar is third, and there is no third tote for Finbar. Bosworth, little green in the straight, he's got a bit to learn, but Patterns flying at the moment, isn't she, by Success Express from Silver Robe, trained by Clary for Mr. Peter and Mrs. Wendy Moran, and ridden by the all-conquering Glenn Boss.
Righto, Ian. Yeah, congratulations to Clary Connors on some exemplary judgment there. I think a lot of people this morning were pretty surprised when he elected to take that filly out of the 5th race, which was for 3-year-old fillies, and run against the horses in the Brian Crowley Stakes. Mind you, she did carry 4 kilos less in this race than she would have in race 5, but by the same token it was a bold move by Clary, who certainly knew what he was doing, and she didn't just win, she annihilated them. Ricky Maund, who fell from silver medal in the first race today at Sandown, is quite okay, unhurt after his tumble from silver medal in the steeplechase at Sandown. Patterns, Glenn Boss, $5.50 and $2.80. Timeout second, $2.40. No third toed Finbar, $15.50 Quinella, $212 the trifecta. And I know it's a hackneyed cliche, but Glen Boss at the moment would win on a broomstick. OK.
4 or 5 to move up into the gates, and we'll have them set for the second on the program, where the favourite is Royal Code from Sir Chuckle on track. Oh Can He Go has gone for an absolute bath in the betting ring, despite the fact it retains second favouritism on the tote. Here's Mr. Trickster coming in for Damien Oliver. Mr. Trickster coming up has the blinkers off today, and El Farik goes in a little wider out. Plum Brandy also blinkers off in this event coming up here, number 7, blinkers off. Red Edition moves up for Spike Short, not far away from a start. Ricky Maund, who fell from silver medal, received a knock to the head. He remained conscious though, and is just being kept under observation at this stage. So a lucky escape for Ricky Maund. And Ruling Lord, he stayed in the barriers. In that chase, stayed in the barriers. Ruling Lord refused to jump. Ricky Maund seemingly okay, despite a knock to the head. Favourite here is Royal Code. Big Drifter on track as Oh Can He Go. Sir Chuckle is the second elect. And Mr. Trickster's come in for good support. Now Errol joined them and the field is set. 1200 for race number 2. Little movement there in the middle of the line. Plum Brandy shifting about, they're away. And Errol missed the start by 2, and Rainbow Glider settled second last. Oh Can He Go pinged out and led in the early stages from Sir Chuckle, going up fast in company with Red Edition, and Pointy Stickers up there too. A great battle for the early lead. Mr. Trickster sat off them, followed then by Barrassassin. Now at this stage of the race, Rainbow Glider's getting through on the inside of Gironde, and the favourite is travelling pretty wide at the 800 metre turn. That is Royal Code. As they came up the side, Sir Chuckle went out 3, Pointy Stick. 2 lengths then to Oh Can He Go. Red Edition a couple of lengths away. Road to Dance the inside of Mr. Trickster. Then Barrassassin, followed then by Gironde outside Rainbow Glider, and on their outside Royal Code, and then came Plum Brandy, El Farik, and Errol as last. Sir Chuckle at the 400 by 2. Into second placing is Pointy Stick, but he's under the whip, and Sir Chuckle's travelling pretty well at this stage of the race. Oh Can He Go struggling over on the inside, and the favourite Royal Code is making some ground. Sir Chuckle from Pointy Stick, and down the outside Royal Code's making plenty of ground, but Sir Chuckle's run them off their legs, and Sir Chuckle's won it by 3 lengths. Royal Code will grab second, I'd say, from Pointy Stick, and between those horses there, fighting on well was Road to Dance. And just behind those horses, coming home hard, was Mr. Trickster. Then came Oh Can He Go, and they were followed then by Rainbow Glider and Gironde. Well back as Barrassassin, El Farik, Red Edition tired. Plum Brandy at the tail end of the field in company with Errol, who missed the start.
Well, he got beaten almost 10 lengths in the Colin Hayes Stakes last week behind Deprave. But this was an easier essay, and he's obviously improved in the space of 1 week. And he won very easily today, Sir Chuckle. Number 6, $5.30 and $1.90, and it's a photo for second and third. Let you have the full result shortly. Now, this Guineas Prelude coming up in New Zealand, a listed race, and they're about to go into line. Guineas Trial, 1,400 metres. A listed race for the 2-year-old fillies, and here's Ian with his call.
Thanks, John. And in the Gimcrack, they're moving in nicely. Last year, the winner of the Gimcrack Stakes was Donna Natalia. Brad Stewart beat Fair Embrace and La Bird. Previous race going to Patton's number 6 Glen Boss, scratched from a later race to run in the second, and it was a good move by the connections, and the first went to number 1 Choiseul, ridden by Len Beasley. Choiseul scored nicely. Now we've got Penny Opera to come forward here. The favourite My Bell Jester, Darren Beedman aboard in red and black chevrons, white sleeves, black and red corded cap. And it looks as though we're just about set and ready to run. My Bell Jester is 240 and 140. Set to go. Soon be off. Racing this time, and Penny Opera actually got the best of the start, headed immediately by the favourite My Bell Jester. Snip the Prize jumped out well, followed by Royal Perla. Then comes Delolly's Cha de Moore. A length further back is a Rube from Rain Falls, and then a good margin off to Verstack, followed by Miss Miracle. Mammoth is second last, and 2 to Flying Dane. They come along past the 600, and Royal Perla goes to the lead, about a length on My Bell Jester, and 2.5 Snip the Prize, and then Penny Opera. A Rube is wider out, and then Cha de Moore from Delolly's momentarily held up for a run, and Rain Falls next from Verstack around the corner, and Beedman calling upon My Bell Jester again. It goes out after the leader Royal Perla, and Delolly's getting a charm run up on the inside. Well, My Bell Jester is immediately under pressure, and Delolly's out after Royal Perla. Delolly's the inside, and Royal Perla, Delolly's and Royal Perla clear of Rain Falls, but Delolly's put paid to Royal Perla, and Delolly's came away on the line to win the Gimcrack from Royal Perla. Third home of the race was Rain Falls, followed by My Bell Jester, Penny Opera, then Miss Miracle, Snip the Prize, Mammoth, and then Verstack, Cha de Moore, Flying Dane, and last to complete the course of Rube.
Well, backers might have been a little concerned when she got just a touch further back than you would have expected, but Larry Cassidy didn't panic. He bided his time. He got right up on the inside of the leader, My Bell Jester, at the 150, and then held out Royal Perla to win well. Delolly's ridden by Larry Cassidy, raced by Julian John Singleton. Singo can do no wrong at the moment. And Delolly's is by De Hare, that's where the DE comes from, out of a mare called Miss Candy. That's where the Lollies comes from. 3, 10 and 13. Race 2 at Victoria Park, 7 minutes away. Blue Bubble 22, just on double figures. Number 11 is Double Trap, with a very good win hold of $233,000 and $5.20. Damien Oliver's mount. Number 17, Argegno. Alf Matthews' numbers 4, 17, 1 and 2. Here's Greg Miles.
And this is one of the tough ones of the day here, John. Sloane Street and Argenio are the equal favourites on track. There's been support for Reactive at longer odds despite her big weight, and she's not all that big herself. And Double Trap has come in for support too. Blinkers off today and has won its last 2 outings on dryish ground. So, or its last outing on dry ground, I should say, having just the 1 victory. But it will improve on a dry track. Now, Circus Dance has moved in. There's Argenio going up. Equal favourite in the race. Got flattened at the start here at Sandown over 1,000 metres. Won at Maui in easy style. Melody's about to link up into the gates. Perrier is still away from the line. So is Midday Matinee. We need about 4 to move in now. Melody's is ready. Midday Matinee coming up. So on the tote, it's 4 ahead of 17. There's nothing between them on track. Good supporters come for number 1. That's also the 3rd favourite on tote now. Reactive, she's not big, but she's got good form. Here's Babe Zahari is coming along now to complete the lineup. Outsider of the field. Craig Williams on board. Back for a stint before he heads overseas again. Now they're ready. 1,300 metres. The fillies stand up. They're away. Double Trap jumped well. Perrier was a bit slow, and Ansami second last out, and Sloane Street back in the second half of the field. Costa de Plenty going to the lead after 100 metres over Reactive, Circus Dance and Magic Sky out wider. Then came the Blue Sister, and over on the inside just behind these Double Trap, Length Melodies, Archmobile, and they're followed by Perrier getting up along the inside. Back behind those horses, then Skyworth out wider on the Improve. They were followed by Sloane Street Argenio, who's racing well back with Farline and Ansami on the inside. 2 to Babe Zaharias and Midday Matinee.